The Tokyo Ghoul franchise, beginning with protagonist Ken Kaneki, undeniably holds the record for the most long-suffering characters. A turning point for the plot is Kaneki's torture and eventual acceptance of his new life as a ghoul, as it sees an all-new Kaneki fully change goals and personalities. However, what happened to Kaneki, although it was a seismic change, did not only happen to Kaneki. In Tokyo Ghoul Re, two other characters have the same scenario of torment, mental split, and ghoul acceptance. Ghoul investigators Sidhu Takezawa and Toru Miatsuki of the Quinks Squad both suffer almost exactly the same fate as Ken Kaneki, even their hair turns white. Although the arrival of more unpredictable, white-haired ghouls certainly brought the drama, it came at the risk of cheapening the experience of Kaneki himself. Sidhu Takezawa began the series as CCG's Rank 2 ghoul investigator. Takezawa fought Tatara of Ajiri Tree during the owl suppression action, but was wounded and captured by Ajiri Tree after his arm was severed. When his body could not be identified by the CCG, they pronounced him dead. Takezawa, however, was in fact imprisoned by the ghoul sect and became a specimen of Dr. Akihiro Kanu's gallification experiments, the man responsible for Kaneki's own gallification. Dr. Kanu aimed to build another Kaneki, with Anteku owner Yoshimura's Kakihu transplanted into Takezawa. To that end, by torturing him for over a year, he practically dehumanized Takezawa far longer than Kaneki's 1 week with Jason. Takezawa's time with the doctor cost him his sense of morality, and the once upbeat and idealistic Takezawa actually became a psychotic monster rather than choosing to live as a ghoul. Takezawa's hair turned white, and he became a one-eyed ghoul known as the Owl after he fled. As well as a former member of Hayes Sasaki's Quinks team. Toru Mitsuki was a special-level ghoul investigator. The squad was made up of human beings with armed Kagune implants, and apparently Miatsuki was the weakest, unable to invoke his own. A young Mitsuki suffered abuse from his family to the point that their wholesale slaughter resulted from his blind rage. This led to Mitsuki living and feeling like an outcast, which only got worse as the Quinks squad's weakling was branded him. Mitsuki was kidnapped by a ghoul identified as Torso after the Rose extermination called as such for his propensity for detaching the body parts of his victims and leaving just the torso. Mitsuki's arms were severed, but he was kept alive by his half-ghoul genetics and kept awake in the Torso cave. He had been tortured and humiliated repeatedly, and the ghoul had even married him there. Much like Kaneki, Mitsuki's hair turned white when the tension became too much, and he snapped. Although Kaneki went on to become a major force fighting for the sake of his new ghoul mates, Takezawa and particularly Mitsuki, friend or otherwise, became threats to everyone around them. Mitsuki and Takezawa clearly broke hard. Their transformations into white-haired ghouls were not stimulated by any internal realizations or tragic acknowledgements of their fates. The rest of their time in the series is spent violently lashing out or serving communities who need them, the CCG and Ajiri Tree, respectively. This focus on aggression is at the root of why Mitsuki and Takezawa were not expected to become white-haired ghouls. For thematic purposes, Kaneki's transition occurred to further the notion that his life is one of continuous tragedy, but one he wants to do the right things with. Takezawa and Mitsuki, on the other hand, seem to have just been subjected to their torment for an easy fan response. White hair became synonymous with power in the series after Ken's transition, as Kaneki became much stronger after his mental break. Series creator Suyoshida was able to, in essence, construct two more Kanekas with Takezawa and Mitsuki's torment and filled their time with even more bombastic fights. It's just too bad this came at the expense of his most powerful narrative instrument.